Hi, my name is Arturo, and this is how I went from dropping out of high school to now being worth more than $3 million, and I did it all in just 3 years. Alright guys, so we're gonna start in my childhood. And my childhood was a very important part of my life because I grew up with two immigrant parents. They both traveled from Venezuela to here to find a better life. And to be honest, it really helped me out. They taught me what it was to work hard and to find something by yourself, no help from no one. I remember also telling my grandma when I was young, 8 years old, and I told her, I don't want any toys from Toys R Us because I want to save my money. I always knew that I had this entrepreneurial spirit in me. I knew that I was going to be successful at a very young age. Everybody wanted to be an NFL player, a soccer player, a tennis player. I wanted to be rich. I wanted to find a way to make money and be happy with what I'm doing and not live a slave to this world. So we grew up in a small place called Doral. It's in Miami, Florida. I went to school there. I was about 12 years old when I started to run into some trouble. The trouble came because I was surrounded by the wrong peers, trying to do the wrong things for money instead of trying to do things the right way. And it was very hard. In 8th grade, I actually got in trouble for actually selling some Reed brownies in school, and it wasn't the best look. I knew that that wasn't my route to go, but I was extremely young and made a lot of mistakes. And I'm glad I made those mistakes because that's where I'm at today. I'm completely transparent about my journey because I know where I came from and I know why I did those things. I grew up in a family where they didn't give me any money to have fun, to go out, to do what I wanted to do with my friends. So I had to find ways to make money outside on the streets and figure out a way to make a living for myself. That happened very early on. It started in 8th grade when I started to get into trouble. I got in trouble because I brought some brownies to school and I got in extreme amount of trouble. I got kicked out of school for 10 days outdoor suspension. They eventually let me come back. They didn't let me walk on my graduation day. Very rough point in my life. I disappointed my parents. I disappointed everyone in my life. Everybody thought I was a good kid, but I was living two different lives. I took that over to high school. I eventually got kicked out at 9th grade. I got sent to Opportunity School that I'm gonna pop up a picture right here. I got sent to Opportunity School. It's like a school right in the hood where a whole bunch of gangsters and a whole bunch of people go to that get kicked out of high school for like guns, drugs, and stuff like that. I got sent over there. And then I felt rejected. I felt rejected in the point where I didn't have anywhere to go. Not even high schools wanted me. My mom wanted to kick me out at that point. I was a terrible kid and not a very productive person in society. And I understood that, but I knew that I was better than that. That's when we started to go into my junior year in high school. My junior year in high school, I was up to no good, still getting in trouble, getting arrested, doing a whole bunch of bad stuff, and I actually lied to my dad. I told my dad that I wanted to go to military school, but that was all a ruse. That was not real. I did not want to go to military. I did not want to go to the army. I just wanted to get out of high school. I always had this feeling towards high school that it was something that was not for me. I was never a good student. I was always a hard worker, always, but I was not a good book smart person. In high school, what happened was I started to hang around this crowd, this clique. I was always an outgoing person, had a lot of friends, and that led me to do tough things or bad things in my life, which is not always easy for the people that love you and to see that you're going down the wrong path. They always told me, stop doing bad things. That is when I went to jail. Once I went to jail, I really opened my eyes. I had a court case to go to. I was looking at some time and I really wanted to make a change. That change happened when my mom kicked me out. After I got arrested, my mom had kicked me out because I was doing stuff in her house that she did not agree on. So I actually left my house at 19 years old. 19 years old, I went to go live in an efficiency. My efficiency was not the easiest upbringing, and it was surrounded in a red zone, they call it, in Miami. This was my first home. It was very small. Literally, you walk in and then there's a bathroom right as soon as you walk in, and then the bed. It was an efficiency, very small place to live in, and coming from where I come from, it was very tough, but it was my own house. I was starting to mature as a person. I was paying some bills. I was doing what I wanted to do in my life, which was just live my life how I wanted with my girlfriend and just hang out. Eventually, I got to the point where I was surrounded by all these bad people because we lived in a low income place, and all that energy started to reciprocate on me, started to make me feel down. down about myself or make it feel normal that it's okay to live in the form I was living. That's when my house got broken into and robbed. I had over $40,000 saved up, and one of the people that I was doing business with at the time actually broke into my house and robbed my house. And that's when everything went from thinking you're up here to coming down over here. That was absolutely my rock bottom. That's when I realized that this life was not for me. The drug dealing life, the street life was not for me. I wanted to have a stable life. I wanted to have a stable income. And that's when I found trading. So that's when I actually left my house, the house that was broken into and robbed, and I went back to my mom's house, which that was very depressing for me as a young adult, you know, trying to make a life out of themselves, and having to come back and be in their mom's house is not easy. It's not fun. I did not enjoy coming back. It was kind of like I failed them. But when I came back, I decided to, you know, get a regular job. I started to work at Target. Target was fun. It was overnight, so that's when I started to learn how to trade a little bit London session. And then eventually I just got sick of having a schedule. That's when I started to work at Uber Eats. That was the job that really taught me what it was to have your own schedule, what it was to work, and if you work, you get paid. If you don't work, you don't get paid, right? So nobody was telling me to go do Uber Eats every day. It was me, out of my heart, trying to go and do Uber Eats every single day to make some money, right? And eventually I got tired of that, but I was already learning the skill of trading. And this is when my whole life changed. August 9th, 2020. August 9th, 2020, I bought my first course. I was completely obsessed. Whenever I found trading, I finally found something that I really had a passion for and what I really wanted to do. Remember, growing up as a kid, I had other little businesses here and there. I had, you know, the street business, which is not something I'm proud of, but I also had a breeding business. I used to breed hedgehogs and lizards and bearded dragons and leopard geckos, and I used to breed them and sell them as a side hustle. So I always had this entrepreneurial spirit, and I think as a trader, you need to be able to think in your brain that you are better than the 9-to-5ers. You are better than a regular person. You are different than a regular person to make you better than them. So once I realized that, once I found trading, I found this new sense of motivation, this new drive that I had. I found my passion. I found what I really wanted to do as a human being. That is the #1 thing that you need to strive to find, is finding your passion. It's not easy. And once I found my passion, I understood that, okay, now that I know exactly what I'm gonna do, how can I do it? So first things first, I went into the markets. I started to lose a lot of money. I started to get very depressed. This is when my credit card debt started to pile up. Close to $20,000 in credit card debt I had. Was investing in funding challenges, was getting courses, all types of courses, all types of webinars, all these things that I needed in order to become the best trader I possibly can. I was willing to put myself in debt, and that was my new rock bottom. My new rock bottom was when I dumped $20,000 from my credit cards into trading, and I still don't see results. That's when I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, is this what you're gonna be? Are you going to be a loser your whole entire life? And that's when I realized that I did not want to be a loser. I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, you are going to figure it out no matter how long it takes, no matter what you need to do in order to figure it out. You will be the person to figure it out. So my first payout was actually $7,000. With that payout, I actually paid off a lot of my debt. I tried to pay off most of my debt, and then I also bought a new funded account. I actually blew that same funded account the next month, so I wasn't able to get 2 consecutive payouts in a row, which was very hard for me. I didn't like that feeling. Eventually I got another funded account and I actually passed it, funded it, and then that's when I became consistently profitable, which was 2 months after my first payout. I got a $32,000 payout as my second payout ever, which was freaking amazing, from my Forex funds, RIP my Forex funds. But that payout is what really put me to the next level, because I grabbed that money, I paid off my debt, and then I bought 2 more funded accounts while having one live. I funded one of them, blew the other one, but I had now 2 live accounts with $100,000 each. So that was my breaking point. That was the point that I knew that everything that I planned for, everything I went through in my life, every bad thing, that when people doubted me, people rejected me, high school didn't want me, I dropped out of high school, I went to jail, I did all this stuff needed to happen for me to end up into the place I am. And now all I'm doing is grabbing Forex money and putting it into passive income so I can make money when I sleep. Money never sleeps. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. And that's something that I live by every single day. I actually have it right here. And guys, I'm not telling you all this just to come here and brag that I'm worth $3 million now and that I have multiple businesses. That was not the point. The point was to make you guys understand that I needed to go through every single one of those points, and I needed to be grateful for being in those positions to be where I'm at today. And today, I finally made it.